What up, everybody? It's your boy Ragnarok coming from Server 200. We have Season 5 grouping review. What the heck is that? I'm going to go ahead and look at every single server. We have 96 servers, 197 to 292. I'm going to review them. That's what's happening right now. Let's go ahead and get into it. Go ahead and smack that like, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get into the content. Let's go! What's happening, everybody? It's your boy Ragnarok coming with another Season 5 prediction grouping edition. And if you're watching this on the day it debuts, yes, this is Christmas, so Merry Christmas to you filthy animals, and let's go. This grouping is a fantastic grouping. I would be lying to you to say that I didn't know and didn't look at this grouping already. This is a big one, so we're going to go ahead and get into it. We're going to talk about this one. This is a fun grouping, so let's go ahead and dive in. You know how we do it, guys. Let's go ahead and take a look at server 251, starting up in the top left corner. So definitely know server 251 just from running into these guys from time to time. American server used to be a lot stronger, but I mean, OIQ, you can just tell they actually love to show up and fight. So that's definitely not something you're not going to see from these guys. 1.4, almost 1.5 billion kills. These guys like to party. Second alliance struggling a little bit there, and third, so on and so forth. You can tell probably I would say a one alliance server for the most part. It's clearly their power. I mean, NJ3 still has some really good power, so you can't say that. But I mean, 30 billion OIQ. Let's look at a couple things that's going on here. Now, the name has changed here, and the name has changed here before, so I think there's some fun things going on here. I'm not 100% positive. I know Swipe personally. Nice guy. I've talked to a lot of these folks, as you guys probably know. I've talked to Ecto, Dark Joker. There's just a lot of good people. I've talked to KT24. There's a lot of good people here, but as you see it, it's mostly OIQ. There's a little NJ3 mixed into here, but you can tell it drops off relatively quickly. So you have 20 people that are over that 200 THP marker. Not the worst situation, but if you guys know, this grouping is really, really tough. Why? Because when we probably move over to here, I'm assuming it's one of these. Oh no, it's not this one, but it just gets harder and harder. The grouping does. 239, I do know them as well. Let's take a look at them. Oh, you know what? I did my disservice. My bad. I'm so sorry. I got to go back to 251. My bad, 251. Did not look at transfer stuff for you guys, and I am curious how you guys actually did last time around. I do believe you guys were in that upper echelon, which you guys are right here, 251. So you guys were in a limited server. Filled all your seats. You guys did all you could probably do, bringing people in. And what do I mean by that? Being in that upper echelon limited situation. So OIQ, let's go find them. OIQ, yeah, right, basically almost smack dab in the middle. So they're in a tough situation. Look at all these VIP 18s that were in the last transfer. They still don't have one, but they had some good depth, and I think they also had some people leave. And if I had to imagine, it's going to probably be hard for them to continue to really compete with a lot of these folks out here. So good luck to 251. I imagine it's pretty tough for you guys because this is a really, really hard grouping. Let's keep on moving. Let's go to 239 now. Do know 239 and some of those folks over there. Really, really awesome folks. Primarily a European server. So when we talked about not finding European servers that are strong, this is going to be one of them, if I'm correct in saying. Now, it's not all European. I feel like there's definitely a mixed bag here. Now, I think a lot of them are kind of in a weird spot. What are they going to do? I've talked to a lot of them. Are they going to get an open spot? Because we'll look at some stuff in terms of where they actually fell in the transfer ranking. But Unzip hasn't grown too much in a little while. I think he's probably in a weird situation. Lex, same thing, been at the top of the leaderboards for a while, doesn't really know what to do. I think there's been a couple accounts in another similar situation here, but they drop off really, really quick, right? So, not as quick as I had thought. Okay, look, not bad. Guys, look, this is not that terrible. 23 folks. over 200 THP. Not nearly as bad as I thought it was. What am I saying? 1 billion in kills. Not a bad situation, but I just wonder how much participation they're getting out of their second, third, or fourth alliance. People actually showing up and fight. It can be really tough if that's the case, especially when you're in a server setting like this. Good luck to 239, but let's look where they ranked before. I think they were in the middle area if I had to guess. You guys see 239 on here? Oh, it's literally right here. Sorry about that. 239. Literally in the smack dab where my mouse was. I was just going over it. So they're actually in the upper third. I wonder how they did in actually getting folks. So 239. So let's see. Let's use 251 as a marker. 239 should be right here. Okay, 239. Yeah, dude, they filled all their spots except for a gold. Oh, 239 could have been the difference for you guys. So it's probably a weird situation in terms of recruiting. If you're probably thinking, I'm probably not going to get another gold this time around. Are we just going to kind of go our separate ways? So I could understand that from that standpoint, from a 239 standpoint. So good luck to 239 in this server set. Now, 281. 281's had a lot of movement, right? So every transfer feels like something's going on with 281. Let's take a look at what is going on at 281. So it says Koreans, right? So Korean Alliance, I don't know how serious that is, because last transfer they weren't Korean, and so a lot of things has changed on 281, but it says definitely a Korean Alliance, so that's awesome. So they must have really brought in a lot of different people, and look, it looks like there is a lot of Koreans here. But the funny thing is, I don't think it was like that last time. Could be totally wrong, but I feel like there was definitely different stuff going on here, and their power's not the best, but you can tell like people came in and people left, and the only way we can figure that out is actually looking at some of those numbers. All right, I found 281 really quick. That's awesome. Yeah, BPT5 was the strong server there, strong alliance, and they left. So that's interesting. Let's see, 281. Let's find out marker 281. All right, right here. So they brought a gold in. They brought almost all the purples. So that's where you're seeing this mixed bag. They also had a bunch of people leave. So transfers, I would love to see equal parts, people leaving and people going. They need to show that. That'd be awesome. Who left, who went on. That'd be an awesome addition. But 281 so far, if it was just these three servers, it's going to be pretty competitive. However, I know what the server set looks like. We're probably going to get into some fun stuff here. Not just yet, but 210 has had a little bit of a renaissance. 210 originally from our server set. They CJZ and CJZX, they recruited a lot of people in this last transfer. I think they did a really good job. Primarily a Chinese server. Really, really nice people, like super nice. We've known them for a while, and they show up to fight. These guys, and when I say a little bit of a renaissance, they've gotten some players here. They're R5, just been growing at a crazy clip. So they have some awesome people here. Great communication. Never had any problems with 210. And they have a little bit of depth. Not bad, 19. But not one of those ultra super strong servers, but at their top end, some really good strength, and they keep on growing. So good luck to 210. I think they're going in the right direction. Let's look at some numbers to see if the suggestion is correct when we look at a 210. So 210, yeah, definitely in that top third of the open, semi-open situation. And I believe they got a gold. Let's see if I'm right in saying that. Let's see, 210. Let's double click. Let's go 210. Where would you be? I think you're above this. Yeah, 210. 210. Yeah, I got all 60 whites, -3 blues. They got all their purples and a gold. So, yeah, interesting situation based off where they're at. I wonder if they're going to climb now into this situation and be limited. I hope not for them, but they have a really cool server. And hypothetically, if they're just like under this, what if they add a mega whale? There's a couple mega VIP 18s out there looking for a server. 210's not bad, like not bad at all. This would be a cool situation to add really, really strong, like, I don't know, 400 plus THP whale. Like, could you imagine that? So kudos to 210 on what they're building, see if they can continue building it. Let's keep on moving it, see if we can find one of these big servers. So it's getting close. Oh, here we go, baby. 252. Guys, this is, when we talk the elite servers in the game, or at least in the 96, this is one of them. So let's just take a look. Oh my gosh, I'm just murdering them. DHJ is going to be headlining this. Guys, 2 billion kills. Guys, when we're talking about dead alliances and dead servers out there, there's some alliances out there that don't even have 150 million kills. They have 2.2 billion. That is insane. And then the next one is still 789. I would like to see a little bit more evened out here. I don't know if they maybe put a lot of players in from one for the DHJ, just because they're in such a hard situation this time around. But it'd be interesting to see when we break down the numbers. Primarily a Chinese server. We talked to them. I talked to Hector, I believe. It does a lot of diplomacy there, and super nice. They just like to fight, man. These guys, just look at their power. It's funny when we talk about VIP 18s. Okay, everyone thinks the strongest, and funny enough, a VIP 18, I've seen them as weak. Just to give you guys an idea, I use the word weak, as 270 THP. I've seen VIP 18s out there at that. So it's crazy to see when you have a 500 million. Okay, it's amazing. It's a mega whale. Then you have another right behind it, right? So you're just like, whoa. And then you have one more that's just a little behind that. Oh my goodness. So it's just super impressive from a server standpoint. And these guys are in a league of its own. So it'd be awesome to see if they keep in that league. So it's just super highly competitive. And just look at the depth. It doesn't stop, right? Just the depth. Oh, we're at 30 and it just keeps on going. Okay, 37 folks over 200 THP. Are you kidding me? Yeah, these guys are just growing at a stupid clip. So DHJ, let's look at some numbers around DHJ. So obviously when you're a mega server like this, you're at the very top or close to, you fill all your seats. That's one. The other thing is when you look at them, there's a very top here, right? So that's where they had the highest second highest server score. They had 3 VIP 18s at that time. They might even have a 4th by now. I have no clue. But they just have a huge server score. Funny enough, 220 that's in ours beat them last season. So I would love to see these 3 actually in a season together, because that's probably the fairest way to do it, because they're just that close to each other. If 220 got in with 252 head to head, they've already shown that they can beat them. So that would be cool to throw them in the mix, because who else is in this grouping? I don't want to end it for everyone, but I think everyone kind of knows, is the people at the very top. So we're going to get back to that. But guys, 252 is doing an awesome job as a server. Congratulations to you guys and good luck. Let's keep on moving, see who else we got. And this is who I was talking about. So 263, didn't want to fully spoil it, but I think most people already knew about it. 263. Guys, the strongest server in our subset of 96. Alliance kills. Almost 2 billion. So DHJ's got him a little bit. Crazy. But the funny thing is 3MJ has their second. So that's cool to see. And even OMY has their third. So probably overall health is doing better at 263, I would say. Being objective, just my opinion, that's what I would see off my end. Now, I think primarily a lot of Chinese people are in a lot of these alliances, but most of them do speak English. Super, super nice. I've had great interactions with all these players. Obviously, LB Justin is the strongest player in the game. Spoke to him plenty of times. Unbelievably nice. war fan. He's just a fighter, just wants to get out there. And then the man burning money is just a nutcase as well, just doing his thing. So you just have like look at the strength level. The third player is nearly 400 million. Like how can you compete with that? It's just mind-boggling. And then you have 300 and not too far off 300. Let's see, we had 37, right? That was what DHJ and 252 had. So right at 35, guys, that's incredible, right? I actually know Falcon. Falcon's a cool guy. So this is cool to see. These guys are unbelievably strong. And it's good that they're in the server subset together. Obviously, I think it would be awesome to throw 220 in there. I don't think they'll ever do that just yet, to throw a third big one, to really throw a monkey wrench in there, but we never know. So awesome job to 263 becoming the server that you guys are. Elite server, one of the best of the best. We're going to continue looking at the server subsets. 256. So just knowing what we know, right? You have 252 and 263, and then you throw 256 in here. You're probably just like, oh my gosh, I have to look at these guys, right? And I totally get it. Like they're not even the same strength as their fourth from a 263 standpoint, and that's not trying to throw any shade towards 256 whatsoever, which I don't know a lot of these folks. You can tell in their kills, not the most activity, total hero power, not bad, not like a dead server at all, but probably can't compete with the top end here. Like it's just not going to happen. So I wonder what they're doing. Only 7 people over 200 THP. Like to see where they aligned. 256, guys. What do you guys think? 256. Are they that far down here? 256. 256. There they are. Okay. They were a ways down here. Okay. So they got 40 whites, 19 blues. They got a gold, but they're struggling a little bit. This is one of those, I call it life alert. You know, you're just sitting there holding on a little bit because it's tough. You're in a tough situation. 256. How far were you guys down here? Were you on the open? Were you? I don't think so. You were 8 something. So yeah, you had to be right here. 256. Did I just go over it? Probably did. I do that sometimes. Yeah, sorry. Sometimes I just go over it. My bad. But 256. Yeah, they're a little bit on life alert. I think they probably had some folks leave, and it probably tells me that they might be in a situation to actually get 2 golds. But that's another talk for another time, as transfer stuff is just already coming out in the earlier servers. Let's continue on our journey of looking at other other servers. Good luck to good old 256. All right, guys. Last one for this server set, 207. Never heard of them. No, I'm totally joking. They're originally from our server set. 207's been through a lot. Let's get into it. Puma has been and always will probably be the top alliance there. 1.5 billion kills is telling you these guys like to fight. Taco, same way. They've been the second, right behind Puma. Almost 1 billion kills. GNF has had people leave. Soul has had people leave. There's been some people that have left. This is a funny story. We'll get into it. But the very top here is going to be Nacho Daddy. Yes, just like the restaurants, there you go. That's your guilty plug for Nacho. Go check it out. They're in Nashville. They're in Las Vegas. Go get you some nachos at Nacho Daddy's place. So definitely, my man, as you can tell, with the Puma, eating that bowl of nachos. Take a look. Have fun with that. But no, he's the leader of them. You have a lot of other good people on here as well. And they've had stronger people come and go. Weird situation. I don't know why. Maybe it's just big ideas not meshing. I'm not too sure, man. It's been really weird. They've been stronger at times, and now I think they finally are just happy where they're at. And I think they're probably going to be in a situation where they possibly can get a gold seat, and I'll show you guys that as well. So 224 people at 203. they've definitely done a good job still in their mid section of just actually keep on getting stronger. So not a bad situation whatsoever. Let's keep on looking at a few things. I want to show you guys the numbers behind 207, and I know them well. So 207, guys, was one of those limited servers right at the brink of actually getting a gold spot. They lost one player that was 275 THP, another that was like 270, 275 THP, and those guys are both now over 300 THP. So they lost gold seats, 2 gold seats last transfer, wasn't able to replenish that. That is super, super difficult. If I had to guess, I know they filled all their seats, but if I had to guess, they're going to drop into this area where they can get a gold seat. And are they going to go after a whale? Are they going to be able to, get somebody that's 400 THP to really boost them up in those rankings and make them a little bit more competitive? It's an interesting situation. How competitive would they be if they had that mega whale? Someone that is a big VIP 18. I don't know. But let's go ahead and get back into the actual server information because we've actually gone through all of them, and let's kind of go through some stuff here. So if you guys have not been watching, which I think a lot of people have, this has been a very, very eventful server. These guys are destroying each other. This is exactly what Last War wants. Last War wants people non-stop fighting. That's all they're doing. Fighting. It's not Last Talk, right? It's Last War. So I totally get it. However, this could be this could be too much for people. So we obviously have 263 and 252. Now, head to head, I would obviously say 263 is slightly stronger. It shows it on paper. They show up well. 252 got other folks involved. So this is not just a one unilateral head-to-head fight. So I don't know what happened, but you have 210 on CJZ. You have Puma on 207 that have aligned with 263. So these guys, every time 263 shows up and tries to do anything, they have to go ahead and also contest with 252, 263, and 210. That is a lot. Now, obviously, if I was 263, I would have done some type of diplomacy here to try to get something for us, right? You would think, like, help me out and try to get 239, or maybe like 251. There's some good strength there. And I just don't know how much they've really leaned into those relationships. I don't know. I can't say. So I'm not going to say it one way or the other, but you can kind of tell how things have been taken. As we're looking in the middle here, DHJ has these banks, so they can take a lot of this stuff, right? Because they're in that area. CJZ is even here, and they're aligned together with 252. So that's interesting. And then on the other side of this, which 263 has done a good job to protect themselves of this level 9 right here, but you have Puma sitting here. Okay, so that's scary, right? You have Puma as well. Okay, so here we go. And you have DHJ buff. This is just going to be non-stop until this is over. These guys are going to be trying to take their stuff constantly, while these guys are also trying to take their stuff constantly with help from these guys. It feels a little bit 3-on-1. It does. I don't know if that's true. I don't know how much help 263 is actually getting, but it feels a little bit like that. And you know what? That does happen when you are the strongest. When you are the strongest, people want to see you get knocked off your perch. So I do understand it, and it's a great, it's great to say that I think 263 is still doing their best. They're still showing up to fight. They're still saying, hey, you know what? Bring it. They're not backing down from the fight, but it's been very interesting to see what happens. So usually if I didn't know any of this information, I would say 263 would win. I don't think that's the case. So I think 252 DHJ is going to get first place. I still think top 3 rewards somehow. YXI will still get top 3. I think sneakily enough, Puma might get into second, and or CJZ. Just how they've been kind of working together with DHJ, I could see them help. But I just know YXI, they're just going to try to wreck that in some capacity, right? So I don't know, man. What do you guys think? Who's going to be the top 3? Who's going to get top 3 awards in this? I don't know. So this is a really tough one. Yeah, I think DHJ does get first though. That's something I would definitely say is going to happen. But you guys let me know in the comments. Kind of go from there. This is Ragnarok. Merry Christmas, happy holidays to everybody. Thank you guys so much, and I'm out of here. And let's go. See you guys later.